Welcome back to my page. Today we're talking about love without losing yourself. At the core of who we are, love is not something we acquire or earn. It is something we are. Yet many of us move through life unaware of that truth. We learn how to give love long before we learn how to understand it, regulate it, or protect it. When love is not grounded in self-awareness, it can easily turn into overgiving, or over time, overgiving often leads to exhaustion, resentment, or feeling unseen, even when our intentions are pure. This is where the concept of self-love becomes foundational, not superficial. Self-love is not about ego or isolation. It's about understanding your own emotional needs, limits, and values so that love doesn't cost you your sense of self. Jay Shetty explores this idea in his book, 8 Rules of Love, emphasizing that love begins within. When we don't recognize that, we unconsciously place the responsibility for our emotional fulfillment onto others, partners, friends, or family. Even we don't realize we're doing it. When love is rooted internally, something important shifts. Acceptance becomes easier, awareness becomes sharper, gratitude becomes more accessible. Even during difficult seasons, this internal grounding also changes how we view relationships. One of the most practical frameworks for understanding love in action is the concept of the 5 love languages. Pardon my cat. Words of affirmation, acts of service, quality time. Yes, we're going to get to quality time. I love you. Receiving gifts, physical touch. These are not personality labels. They are communication styles. They describe how people most naturally express and receive care. Problems often arise not because love is absent, but because it's being expressed in a language the other person doesn't understand. For example, a friend who values quality time may feel neglected by brief check-ins, even if these check-ins are well-intentioned. A family member who values acts of service may feel unappreciated when help is never offered, even if emotional support is present. When love languages are misunderstood or ignored, people can begin to feel unheard. Do you feel unheard or unimportant? Not because they aren't loved, but because their way of being loved isn't being acknowledged. This disconnect can slowly erode relationships, not through conflict, but through emotional distance. Another layer that often goes unspoken is how boundaries interact with love. Many people who identify as deeply loving or empathetic find themselves in patterns of overextending. They become the dependable one, the ride or die, the person who shows up no matter what. While this comes from a genuine place, love without boundaries can quietly create expectations, not as demands, but as emotional assumptions. When those assumptions aren't met, disappointment follows. Boundaries are not barriers to love. They are what allow love to remain sustainable. When boundaries are present, love becomes intentional instead of interactional. It gives freely, not out of obligation or fear of loss. Understanding that I am love rather than I must prove love changes how we relate to others. It allows us to show up fully without shrinking, performing, or self-abandoning. Love, when paired with awareness, becomes grounding instead of draining. Ultimately, learning to love without losing yourself is about interrogation. Self-love that informs how you give, boundaries that protect your peace, awareness of how others experience love, and the humility to recognize that intention and impact are not always the same. When love is understood this way, relationships are no longer about sacrifice or survival. They become space for mutual respect, growth, and connection. And that is love in its most grounded form, steady, conscious, and whole. And that is love. As my lovely baby cat here wanted to be part of. I love her. She feels like I'm not giving her enough attention, which I will go and do now because I've been doing these videos today. But love yourself, understand the love languages, the people around you, and just ultimately love the life you live. That's the goal. As always, guys, sending you so much love and so much light. Till next time, bye.